Hey there, welcome back to Bloodtime Archives. My name is Volton, and today we're back with another single video. For this video, we're going to be talking about the Prototype as a character. He originally started out as just a sort of background character, not intended to get much coverage, and now cancelled spin-off game. But now, he is much more. But how did he become so important? Well, that's what we'll be covering in today's video on the Bloodtime Archives. How the Prototype became so important. Let's get into it. So, like a lot of things in modern Finds Bloodtime and Anarchy of Red Bear, the origins of the Prototype can be traced back to the days of Finds of Bloodtime Rebooted, which is late 2020. I decided to bring back Holy Time and call him Holy Time X, and this character also later ended up spawning in the Prototype, who I originally planned on explaining of his lore in a now semi-big cut piece content in the Finds Bloodtime story, that being Chapter 0. That was meant to explain a lot of the lore in Finds of Bloodtime that happened before Chapter 1, but that got cancelled not very long after it was announced. So yeah, it didn't last long. They would have found 3 games like Chapter 1 and 2. And one of these 3 games was Finds of Bloodtime 8, Count the Ways. So, what was Count the Ways? Well, just like the Phasma Fright story, this would have been the same thing, but instead it would have been with Troy Campbell, the now protagonist of the Anarchy of Red Bear, and the Prototype in place of Funtime Freddy. So yeah, it wouldn't have been anything too special. Although the ending would have been different, I'm not going to explain it here because a lot of it's still canon actually, and I plan on explaining it in the Anarchy of Red Bear Revolution when that comes out. So yeah, that's what all of Bloodtime 8 would have been. Even after Chapter 0 was cancelled, I still plan to bring back 8, not as Finds of Bloodtime 8, but just Finds of Bloodtime Count the Ways, just removing a number. So yeah, even though the character was going to come back in that game, it went through a lot of variations before it was finally cancelled. It got changed, went from Finds of Bloodtime 8 Count the Ways, to Finds of Bloodtime Count the Ways, to the Anarchy of Red Bear Count the Ways, to the Anarchy of Red Bear origin stories covering multiple characters and not just the Prototype, before finally just being flat out cancelled. In fact, not even the Fantastic Arrow knew about it before it was cancelled. It was just so underdeveloped, it really was not going to get anywhere. So yeah, the Prototype was not going to really get anywhere. In the end, it seemed like his story would never really be explained properly. That is until January 2nd, 2022. January 2nd, 2022. So this is actually the day after I released my game, Dever. And I thought, you know what, I said I would finish this project back in November, I may as well finish it now. I was talking about recoding Finds of Bloodtime Rebooted in FNAF Engine. It was something I intended to do a lot earlier, but never got around to. And the same with actually recoding the Halloween DLC for Bloodtime 3. So I decided to get around to that. Something I was thinking about doing for the game while in class, actually, just thinking about it in class, I thought, you know what, I want to boost the amount of characters from 4 to 6 in the main game. But I only up coming up with 2 additional characters. So it went from 2 to 4, and not 2 to 6. So I thought to myself, what characters to include now? And one of the first ones that came to me was the Prototype. It made sense. He was the physical embodiment of Holy Time X. The real body where he came from. It made a lot of sense. So he, along with a modern version of Withered Buzz, were added to Bloodtime Rebooted. And even after the game got changed to be its own thing, so the Legacy of Bloodtime now, he was still in the game. He's still in the game as of now, and he appears in Night 6 and a Custom Night. And when the Mind Games DLC dropped, he had a new appearance and nickname. He was nicknamed the Murderer, and he looked like this. Designing all the characters for the DLC was very fun. I like working with these bright colors. Aesthetically, I think it's pretty pleasing. But this is not the end for the prototype's comeback. Around this time, I was also planning out a new original Bloodtime game that would take place in a new universe and would include mostly new and original characters. This ended up being The Hauntings of Bloodtime Death Destined. Although not looked back upon very fondly today, the game was still considered aesthetically pleasing, and was one of the only saving graces of the entire game. And out of the 3 characters that I decided to bring back for this game, one of them was the prototype. To me, it made sense, because at that point, he was starting to really become more and more of an important character day by day. And finally, I decided to just add him in, along with the normal Bloodtime and Buzz. The design for his appearance in Death Destined was inspired by that of Glamrock Freddy, but you really can't see it unless I point it out. Actually, you probably still can't even see it all that great. If I do remake Death Destined like I hope to, then he'll probably look more like Glamrock Freddy than he does currently. But nonetheless, he was now appearing in another game. And as of today, he is planned to appear as a background prop in the Anarchy of Red Bear Revolution. You can see him here. Of course, he's basically just Holy Bear X, but still. He still appears as a background prop because there's no real reason for him to be active if there's Holy Bear X already. There's no reason. Finally, the prototype was going to appear as a full enemy in a now cancelled Bloodtime game that Fantascaro and I were going to work on. I might give this concept its own video one day, but for now, I'm not really going to talk about that much, since we might reuse some of the ideas from that project. Although the prototype was going to appear in it, no proper art was made for it. As of today, The Legacy of Bloodtime Miss Campbell is still up, and the sequel to the game, The Legacy of Bloodtime 2, is planned. It's currently unknown if the prototype is going to appear, but the game is split into 2 chapters, so the possibility of the prototype returning is still there. Like I mentioned earlier, the prototype is going to be an Easter egg character, or I guess more of a reference really, in the Anarchy of Red Bear Revolution. He's not really going to be a proper enemy because there's no reason to make him one, but he's still there. You may have heard that the Blood Monster is getting his own spin-off game named, well, The Blood Monster. And since he's going to get a spin-off of his own, that opens the door for a lot of other Anarchy of Red Bear characters to get their own spin-offs as well. This could include the prototype. He might get his own spin-off game, like he was originally supposed to. Nothing is planned currently, but never say never. It's currently unknown if he is going to appear in a hypothetical Death Destined remake currently, but the possibility is still there. Well everyone, thank you all so much for watching this video. I'm not really sure when the next video is going to be, or what it's even going to be. I might do art inspiration. I'm not really sure at this point. I probably have to just because of how many views the first one has. But you never know. Anyways, in the meantime, my name is Zoltan, and thank you for checking out the Bloodtime Archives, and we'll be back again with another video as soon as we can.